Hi, this is Dina from Wild Moon Co. And today I am making a recap video to explain what happened during the full flower moon ceremony that I hosted on Saturday, May 18th. And in this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what the ceremony entailed, the meaning behind it, and give you an idea of some of the things that we did on that night during the ceremony. So the first thing that I want to talk about is what exactly is a full moon ceremony. So a full moon ceremony is an opportunity for a group of people to come together and really harness the energy of the full moon and take advantage of that energy for a common purpose. And this particular ceremony, we chose to focus on healing and releasing. So we are constantly within a lunar cycle. The moon is changing, and through that process, we experience various stages of the lunar cycle. We start each cycle with a new moon, and a new moon is a beautiful time for setting intentions and making plans and envisioning what we want for ourselves for the future. And then we move through the entirety of the lunar cycle, and eventually we come to the end of the cycle, which brings us to the full moon. The full moon is the perfect time for releasing. It's a time for letting go. It's a time for forgiveness and healing from the past so that we can move forward into the best possible version of our future. So that's why I host a healing and release ceremony on the night of the full moon. The energy is perfect at that time for such a ceremony. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is what actually takes place during the ceremony. I've received a lot of questions from people who are interested and who want to know, okay, what goes on at this ceremony? And so the ceremony is woven throughout with various activities that are all geared toward the intention of healing and releasing. So at the start of the ceremony, the first thing that we do is we set an intention. I believe so strongly that we are constantly moving in the direction of our most dominant thoughts. We are not even aware of how powerful our thoughts are. And so the simple act of setting an intention is such a powerful way to start any ceremony. And so at the beginning of the ceremony, I ask all of the attendees to really come to a place of quiet, to close their eyes, and to think about what it is that they are hoping to achieve within the ceremony. And so that is why we set our intentions at the beginning, so that we can move through the entire evening with that in the back of our minds, so that we're moving in the direction of what we desire. So after we set our intentions, we partake in several activities that are all geared toward the act of healing and release. Each ceremony is different, but on this particular evening, a couple of the main activities that we did were, first, we each had set down a few things on paper that we are wanting to let go of. So the reason that someone attends a healing and release ceremony is because they have something that they want to release, that they want to let go of. And so in advance of the ceremony, I ask all of the attendees to write down between 1 and 3 things that they want to release. And a lot of times these are painful and difficult things. They can be simple, but they can also be complicated. And it can even involve trauma for the person who lived through it. So one of the first activities that we do is we write a letter. And we write a letter to ourselves just before that traumatic thing happened. And it's a really powerful practice. We go into a lot of detail about how we write the letter, and then we write the letter to ourselves. And it allows us to truly hold space for that version of ourselves that went through that really difficult process. And it allows us to get into the energy space of who we were when we went through that. And that process allows us to move deeply into healing and letting go. Because when we take ourselves back, we bring forth the energy and the emotion that we felt, and then we can let it go fully and completely. Another one of the powerful practices that we participated in during this ceremony was the act of eye gazing. And eye gazing is a really powerful practice that allows you to open an extremely deep and meaningful connection. Eye gazing can be practiced by yourself in a mirror, gazing into your own eyes, or in the case of this ceremony, it can be practiced with a partner. And what you do in eye gazing essentially is you sit, you look in your partner's eyes, and you simply open a connection. And you sort of eliminate all distractions. You're not really speaking or laughing or moving around. You're just looking into one another's eyes. And an important aspect of this ceremony was that all of the attendees were holding space for one another. We're all healing. So by practicing eye gazing and opening up the connection between one another, we really expanded our ability to hold space for one another in a meaningful way without any judgment and in our full capacity of openness and love. And so that's why we eye gazed, and it was a really beautiful way for all of us present at the ceremony to connect with one another. So the next thing that we did during this ceremony was we participated in a true ancient release ceremony. And what we did was we took the papers that we had written down, the things that we wanted to let go of, and we also took the letters that we wrote to ourselves, to the version of ourselves that went through those experiences. And I read a release statement that really took us all into the full energy of healing and releasing. And then one by one, we stepped up to the fire and we put our papers in. And in that act of burning, we symbolically let go of not only the events that took place that had caused us pain, but we also let go of all of the emotion that we were holding on to surrounding those things. And it's a beautiful way to really just release and heal so that once again we can move forward in a place of clarity and lightness. After we released through the act of burning, we then did a group chant. So I had chosen a very specific mantra that I taught the group. and it's a mantra that is used to seal. And so what we wanted to do was we wanted to seal in the feeling of healing and release that we got through the ceremony. And so I taught the group the mantra. We repeated it through spoken word. Then we began to chant the mantra. And finally, I played a musical version of the mantra, and we did a interpretive dance where we were led by one of the attendees, and we sort of just followed her lead in a very fluid, sort of natural dance around the fire. And so all through this time, we were repeating the mantra, and we were really sealing in all of the positive benefits that we received through the act of acknowledging, reflecting, burning, and then releasing. So as you can tell, there were a lot of components as a part of this healing and release ceremony. And the most beautiful thing about the entire evening, without a doubt, was the people who came and participated. At the beginning of the night, none of us really knew what to expect. But as we moved into the ceremony and into our time together, it became so clear that there was so much beautiful energy. We were there for a common purpose, which was to heal and release and move toward the most beautiful, authentic versions of ourselves. We had a gorgeous spring evening underneath the full flower moon of May. So between the atmosphere, the energy of the moon, and the beautiful energy of all of the attendees, it was truly magic. I'm so grateful for everyone who attended and for the healing that I personally did, and especially for the healing that I got to witness during the night and then through feedback after the ceremony. I am so excited to do another one of these ceremonies. I will be choosing a date in the near future, and I would love to have you attend if you are interested. I invite you to follow me on Instagram. My account is at wild.moon.co, and I'm continually sharing there some photos and video clips from the event, and I will also be sharing information about the next ceremony that will be coming up. So please follow, and I would love to see you at one of the next events. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for your time, for your energy, and as always, for your feedback.